What's up, you guys? So today I'm going to show you guys how to make like a tech house, deep house type of vocal edit. So basically the way we're going to do is we're going to record our voice, for a few passes, take those edits, put them all together, group that, bounce it, and run it through vocoders or a vocoder, and then add some delay. So it's not too hard. It's kind of easy. So first thing we're going to do is add a audio track. So just add some audio. Now I'm going to set this to, you need to configure your outputs and inputs with your interface, or if you're going to record this straight from a computer, you need to set up your recording stuff. So, for me, I'm on mono 1 of my interface, and now I'll turn this off so I don't hear that, and I'll hear the music in the background, but it's okay. It's called a scratch take, and I'll just record. So we're going to do 4 passes. So just 4 bars. And we're going to try to get our vocals to be in the same position of every bar. So you want to listen to music and, keep time. So I'm going to say something like K-State or Tech House or whatever the fuck. You just throw the vocal out there and kind of perform it a little bit too. So let's just get this done. K-State. K-State, K-State, K-State. So I just recorded my voice there. Now I'll cut this up. Listen to it now. K-State. Alright, so now what I'll do is I'll kind of transpose this down. So we're going to double click on this and transpose it down. I usually start at around 10 semi-steps down. I mean semitones. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Semi-steps. So I like 10 semitones down, and then I'll just shift tab so I can stop seeing the editor right here. So shift tab to see the plugins down here, and I can now consolidate that, so command J. So now what I'll do is I'll cut this up, so command D, make a selection around every bar and cut that up. And now what I'll do is create 3 more audio tracks, 1 more, and now I'll sync them all together, and it's nice to just put these all in a group. So command G around all these, and now they're all in a group. So now let's listen to it. Alright, so a few of them are kind of out of time, and let's get rid of that intro. If you hear any clicks and pops, you might need to add a fade before any of these. So right here you would add a fade. So one of these is really out of time. Okay, it's the first one, so I can get rid of that one, which is fine. We have 3 of these, so that's plenty. Alright, so now that I have that, now I'm going to add another audio track, and I'm going to set it to group 20. And now we'll just record that. And now I can delete the group. And now I just have 1 audio form for those. Alright, cool. Set my loop around it. Now we're going to add a vocoder to this. So let's go here. Add some vocoder. So I like adding the vocoder. It's not 100% necessary. You basically already have the sound. But, I'd like to go a little extra. So I'm going to set this on modulator. I'm going to enhance it a bit. I'm going to make the bands, I'm going to max out the amount of bands, so 40, so I can get more precise with this. And I'm going to set depth to 0, attack format, leave it where it's at, release. I'm going to bring this down to like around 60 milliseconds. And I'm going to put the dry wet around 80% when we're done. But for now, I'm going to listen to it at 100% and bring that sensitivity down all the way. Sensitivity just means it follows the audio and adds white noise during some of the parts without audio. So it kind of fills in the blank parts of the audio. Or it kind of tracks the audio and inputs white noise kind of thing. So you can make interesting hi-hat patterns with this, but that's up to you. So I'm going to usually start off with the way I usually do this, is kind of do a little squigglies like that. And this is going to be really low, so you want to throw on a utility and add some gain to this. So I'm going to add around 7 dB. Maybe a little bit more. And let's just slow that and listen to it. So what I'm trying to do is shape a little bit more. I'm going to try and just shape it really. So I like to add this little extra bit of character. So I find it with the vocoder. Alright, so once you find what you like, then, add a little bit of reverb to give it a big room atmosphere. And I don't mean like big room, the genre, I mean like an actual big room. So, or just give it an atmosphere. So I like to shape the input a bit, so I'm going to cut out the high stuff a bit, kind of leave it more around the low, and then take out the pre-delay. And let's put the dry wet around 20% or so. Diffuse, we can bring that down to around 5. And let's add the decay time to around 3 seconds. Alright, and then the next thing I like to do, I actually could bring this up a bit. And next thing I like to do is add some ping-pong delay. Now, what I did with this is kind of interesting. We're going to turn off the sync. We're going to put we're going to add our own delay time. So we're going to add this to around 30 or 40 milliseconds. And we're going to bring the dry wet to around 40%, the feedback around 60. And we're going to open this up a bit. It adds this kind of like interesting, really fast delay that makes it seem kind of choppy a little bit. So that's kind of why I like to add that there. So I'm going to leave a little bit extra feedback on it so we can hear it ring out at the end. And that's going to work perfectly towards, adding a big tail to this like I did here. So this is where the tail part comes in. So if we listen to this, we're going to hear a tail and it's going to ring out into this second part. So that's what we're trying to do here. So now let me add this to where I actually want it in the song. And I can add, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add another audio track. And we're going to record straight from, actually we could just do this, we could just freeze this. and drag this audio down while holding options so we can still preserve that. And if you want, you can now just flatten this, so all that processing in here, it just goes away and you just have the audio version of that. So now we just have this. So that's up to you. If you want to go back and change it later, you can, if you did not flatten it. But again, you can also set this, you could just record straight from the track here, and then still have the processing. So that's what I did down here. I just recorded straight from audio 18, as you can see, and then I did whatever I did to it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a ping-pong delay again, and we're going to add this little plugin I like to use called Kickstart. So it's a sidechain plugin. It's kind of similar to the LFO tool. So what this does is it sidechains with envelopes that controls the volume of the track, and it's synced to a grid and not synced to the input of a kick. So, or input basically. So this is just syncing to a grid. So you have your times here. So 1/4 is definitely, most cases when I the type of grid I use with this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn that off for now. We're going to open this up. We're going to set the sync to 1. We're going to put this around 80% and this dry wet to around 30%. So we're going to hear this ring out for sure now. Alright, so now let's choose the envelope. So I like to use high chain with this, so it's gonna make this sidechain sound. Again, you could just sidechain this to a kick if you want with a regular compressor and its sidechain tool. Okay, so I like that, so I'm gonna turn that off and with my pencil tool turn the device back on, and so this part won't be sidechained at all and this part will be. So just like this. And so once I'm done with that, I'll freeze that and flatten it. And now I can delete this so that it won't conflict with what's previously been recorded, and now we can just hear it like this. And if it doesn't conflict and it sounds like it's a bit empty, you can add that back in. So and that's really it. So hopefully you guys like this, and if you guys like tech house, let me know, because I've been recently getting into tech house a bit. So I've listened to tech house for years and years and years, but I'm finally starting to make it, and it's really fun. So I have a lot of techniques that I've discovered about it that I'd be willing to share if you guys are interested in that. So let me know, and thanks for watching. Thanks, guys.